Okay, hello everyone. Hope you all are doing good and hope most of you are continuing with their studies. I know that it is very difficult when you are at home and you are being isolated, everyone being isolated at home, and you have to catch up with all the online lectures and syllabus, but it is for your own good that we all are trying to get finished with the syllabus. So yes, let's start with today's topic. We'll be talking today about whooping cough, or also known as pertussis. So, the whooping cough or pertussis is an acute infectious disease, usually of young children, caused by the bacteria Bordetella pertussis. Okay, so this is the causative bacteria Bordetella pertussis. The Chinese call it 100-day cough. The agent factor. The Bordetella pertussis is a small gram-negative aerobic Coccobacillus. It can be seen either singly or in pairs. The clinical disease, it has got different phases, and encapsulated phase is the first phase. So the bacteria, it is antigenically complex. There are three major agglutinogens, 1, 2, and 3. And there are several minor agglutinogens that present for the specific bacteria. The source, Bordetella pertussis infects only man, and source of infection is a case of pertussis. Okay, so this is not a zoonotic disease. Okay, what are zoonotic diseases? The diseases where the infective agent, they are mainly present in the animals. Okay, and they also infect human beings. So that is zoonotic infections. For example, plague. Okay, so they are mainly present in the rodents and other mammals, and when people are infected, they are known as plague. Okay, infective material, nasopharyngeal and bronchial secretions are the infective material, and the bacilli or bacteria occur more in number in these secretions. Infective period is also known as catarrhal stage. Now, what are the host factors? uh, as the epidemiological triad has got three things: agent, host, and environment. So we have completed the agent factors, host factors, age, the disease of infants and preschool children. So infants and preschool children, the children less than 6 years of age, are mainly infected with Bordetella pertussis or whooping cough. The highest incidence is below 5 years, and high mortality is seen in infants below 6 months of age. The incidence and fatality are more among female children as compared to male children. Immunity, recovery, and adequate immunization will give almost lifelong immunity for this infection. Second attacks, uh, there is a declining immunity, and these are milder form of attack. Infants are susceptible, but maternal antibodies does not give protection against Bordetella pertussis. Environmental factors, they can be present throughout the year. More cases are seen in winter and spring months. The risk is greater in lower socioeconomic class. Spreads through droplet infection and direct contact. Adults and older children with unrecognized pertussis often spread the infection. Okay, so this is the major problem. What happens is when there are asymptomatic cases, or there are children who are in the primary stage of the infection where there are no severe signs and symptoms, at that time they can be infectious to others, and through the nasal and pharyngeal secretions, through the sneezing and through the cough, they can spread this infection to other susceptible children. Okay, yes, incubation period is usually 7 to 14 days, but it is not more than 3 weeks. Okay, so the maximum incubation period is 14 days, is usually 14 days. So how the infection develops? So whooping cough infection, doctors call the disease pertussis after the bacteria Bordetella pertussis cause a severe infection with symptoms that can last for weeks. So how the infection spreads? There are 5 stages: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 stages. Sorry. So first, microscopic droplets carrying Bordetella pertussis are inhaled. Okay, so they are inhaled through nose and nasopharynx. The second, the bacteria hook to the cells lining the throat, and these are ciliatal epithelium cells. Okay, So the cells lining the throat, whose hair-like cilia sweep away the foreign objects. The bacteria reproduce and migrate towards ciliated cells of the lung. And the bacteria release a toxin that paralyzes the cilia and kills the cells. Okay, so the ciliary epithelium of respiratory tract, it is attacked by the Bordetella pertussis bacteria. The toxin released in the lungs spread throughout the body, and the pneumonia may develop in tiny air sacs deep in lungs, and they get infected. Okay, so this is the natural course of infection of Bordetella pertussis. So what are the symptoms? Intense cough with a striking characteristic. So the cough intense, the cough is like uh, barking dog cough. Okay, so this is a striking characteristics of the intense cough of this Bordetella pertussis infection. They appear 7 to 10 days, can be as long as 21 days after the exposure. There are three stages. The illness generally lasts 4 to 6 weeks. The first is the catarrhal stage, second is paroxysmal stage, and third is convalescent stage. The catarrhal stage, it is characterized by mild cough, running nose, low-grade fever, and lasts for about 10 days. The paroxysmal stage, the cough gets worse. The cough is dry and harsh, and cough ends with a woof sound on inspiration. Child may vomit with the coughing and appear to be strangling on the vomit. Cough can be started by many factors, including feeding, crying, or even playing. During these coughing spells, face turns blue, eyes bulge, tongue protrude, and vomiting may accompany. This stage may last up to 2 to 4 weeks. Then there is the third convalescent stage. Vomiting and the whooping cough cease first. The cough usually decreases around the 6th week, but may continue on occasion for the next 1 to 2 months. There can be complications. Teenagers and adults, they recover from whooping cough without complications. So teenagers and adults, there are less complications as compared to the infants and young children. Especially under the age of 2 years, complications are more severe and they may include bronchitis, bronchopneumonia, bronchiectasis, subconjunctival hemorrhages, epistaxis, hemoptysis, punctuate cerebral hemorrhages, seizures, brain damage, and even convulsions and coma. The pneumonia is the most serious and potential complication, causing more than 90% of the deaths from the disease in children under the age of 3. Okay, so pneumonia, the most serious potential complication. Diagnosis is based on symptoms, physical examination, and culture or DFA testing of nasopharyngeal secretion. Okay, so the symptoms and the characteristics whooping cough, the characteristic barking dog cough is the main characteristic feature of whooping cough or pertussis. The treatment, if started early, antibiotics such as erythromycin and amoxicillin can make the symptoms go away more quickly. Unfortunately, most patients are diagnosed too late when antibiotics are not very effective. So earlier stages, if antibiotics are given, then the patients can be treated fully. And if in the later stages the patients come, then they are all already in the complications. The pneumonia have already developed, and it is very difficult to treat those cases. Now, control of cases and contacts. Cases, early diagnosis, isolation, and treatment of cases and disinfection of discharges are very important. Antibiotics, erythromycin, ampicillin, amoxicillin, augmentin, Septran, or tetracycline are useful in controlling secondary bacterial infection. For contacts, infants and young children should be kept away. Those known to have been in contact, prophylactic antibiotic for at least 7 days is to be given. And then the most important part is active immunization. Okay, so we have pentavalent vaccine which is given for infants less than 1 year of age, and it has got 5 important components which are diphtheria, pertussis, tetanus, Haemophilus influenza B, and hepatitis B. So that is DPT plus HIB, okay, Haemophilus influenza B plus HBV, that is hepatitis B virus. So pentavalent vaccine. So three primary doses of pentavalent vaccine intramuscularly at 4 weeks interval, starting at 6 weeks, followed by 10 weeks and 14 weeks, should be given to all the infants. So that are all children less than 1 year of age and at these particular times. Okay, because the infants less than 6 months of age are at greater risk because maternal antibody they don't prevent diphtheria. Okay, first booster dose should be given at 15 to 18 months, and the vaccine which is given is DPT, diphtheria pertussis tetanus. Second booster dose 5 to 6 years, the vaccine is DPT. If pertussis is prevalent, started out earlier at the age of 1 month. So these are the doctors who have created the pertussis vaccine, Dr. Per Kendrick and Dr. Grace Eldering. They developed the first successful whooping cough vaccine in 1983. The pertussis vaccine killed wholesale preparation. 3 doses are at intervals 6 to 8 weeks, starting at 2 or 3 months old children. Gradual drop in immunity is seen in pertussis vaccine. 2 boosters spaced at 3-year intervals are to be given, and local reactions at the site of injection, mild fever and irritability are the side effects of the pertussis vaccine. Passive immunization, the merit of hyperimmunoglobulin is yet to be established. So far, there is no evidence of its efficacy in well-controlled trials. Okay. So that was all about the today's topic, that is pertussis. So remember this very important slide, how the infection develops and the preventive measures, what are the vaccines which are available for prevention of pertussis. Okay, yes. So pentavalent vaccine, 4 weeks interval starting at 6 weeks, 10 weeks, and 14 weeks, and booster doses at 18 months and at 5 years. Okay, so that is all regarding pertussis. So let's see if there are any questions. You can call me or you can post it on the comment, and you have to go through the quick test after this lecture, and your attendance will be taken based on the test. Okay, yes, thank you.